and breathe. Wow. Liverpool are back. Champions League nights at Anfield, under the lights, in front of the supporters, are back. And we made hard work of it, didn't we? I thought it was a huge win for us. In difficult circumstances, we started the game so well, so fast, so bright, so exciting. Should have scored more than the one that we found ourselves ahead by. Obviously, we had that Mohamed Salah missed penalty as well. And then for the first 40 minutes, we were truly dominant. I believe in the first 20 minutes, we'd had 13 shots at goal. We were outstanding. We just couldn't put the ball in the net more than the once. And then, in the space of a minute, the game is completely turned on its head as Milan score 2 quick-fire goals. Some mistakes in our defensive shape for both of those goals, really, which we'll talk about in a moment. But it completely turned the game on its head, and all of a sudden, we go into the break, finding ourselves 2-1 down. It was completely undeserved. We played some beautiful football in the first half. We've won 3-2. It's been a close game. We were biting our fingernails by the end of it, but we played some unreal football there. We really, really did. Some absolutely superb football on display. I thought some of the passing interplays were terrific. Our pressing, particularly, in the first 30-40 minutes was outstanding. We were truly special at times this evening. We really were, and should have scored a lot more than the 3 goals we scored. For me, Fabinho man of the match again. I thought he was absolutely terrific. He is so fucking good at football. So good. He gives us something that very little players in world football could give you. And even when we're so fast, so all over the place, so exciting, Fabinho's there to do his job. Mr. Consistent, isn't he? Breaking at the play, breaking at the counter-attacks. He's just outstanding. And I'm going to have to talk about that Henderson goal, aren't I? A top goal from a player who, at times during his Liverpool career, his leadership's been questioned. He's had to follow one of the best captains that has graced Liverpool Football Club. But he's lifted the Champions League, he's lifted the Club World Cup, he's lifted the Premier League, and he's had his Gerrard moment there. That was an Olympiacos moment for me. The way he's hit the ball, that strike, a special strike from Jordan Henderson. I thought he was shaky during the game. He had some good moments, don't get me wrong, but I thought off the ball in the first half at times he was a bit all over the shop. Then in the second half, I'm sure he was, the man who breathed the biggest sigh of relief when, the Milan goal was ruled out at the start of that second half. But yeah, he's the match winner tonight. It was a beautiful strike, a splendid strike, a Gerrard-like strike, a captain strike, and fair play. Jordan Brian Henderson, you are the match winner tonight. Fair play to you. And it's a massive 3 points, particularly with Atletico Madrid dropping points against Porto as well. That makes the win even more important, particularly with the way we performed. If we were to go away without a win there, that would have, caused a few issues, I think, because confidence would have definitely been shot if you don't manage to pick up 3 points after a performance like that. But yes, I need to remind you, this is sponsored by our friends at Manscaped. They have just released, obviously, that famous Performance Package 4.0. I've spoken before, haven't I? It features the Weed Whacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer. Obviously, you've got the Lawnmower 4.0 as well, the Ball Deodorant. It comes with 2 free gifts, which I believe one of them is a bag. And as I keep saying, if you're blessed with a beautifully large package, you need to make sure it's Manscaped. And for all the shaggers out there, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to keep it trimmed, and the best grooming services in the business are there to do the trick. It's Manscaped. Use the code WFM 20 for 20% off at the checkout. We will sort you right out. And I'm telling you now, the ladies will love you afterwards. So yeah, get it sorted. But anyway, I'm going to read out a few of your comments. Then I'm going to try and dissect the game in more detail because I know I've just done a very brief overview there. But let me have a look. Who was your man of the match? Says Easy Scotty 99. Fabinho, I've already said, has to be for me. So there we go. Mick Wall, how far away is that Pepsi? Enough distance to remind you all, and particularly Craig, that Pepsi is better than Coke. So there you go. Pepsi Max than Diet Coke. I don't even buy that full fat rubbish. Anyway, we'll move on. Augustine says Fabinho is a really good player for us. Yes, he is hugely important. Certainly the most underrated player in our squad, in my opinion. The role he plays is phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. And there is no one in the squad that could do the same. There is very little players in world football that could do what Fabinho does for us. He is magnificent. What a player. What a DM. Wow. Let's have a look. Anything else? John Matip has been the best so far. Says Hashashimi. Interesting. He made a little error, I think, for the first goal. He was caught out of position, wasn't he? But Gomez should be screaming at him there. Van Dijk would have been. So, yeah, slightly, uncharacteristic with how he's been performing so far this season. There was 1 or 2 errors against Chelsea as well. But other than that, he's been absolutely outstanding, I'd agree. What's going on with Mane? He looks like a player who's lacking in confidence. I'd have hoped, that goal against Leeds in the late stages of the game at the weekend would have helped his confidence, but when he came off the bench, it didn't really look like he was full of confidence at all, did he? And for me, I'd have started him tonight because I think that would have done his confidence a world of good. Particularly after scoring late on against Leeds, but instead dropped to the bench, and there we go. But anyway, I'm going to dissect the game. I'm going to start with the team news, and I'm going to highlight a particular point of the team news. There was dismay at Klopp's team news beforehand, and once again, Klopp proved us all wrong, including myself. I like to make jokes about Divock Origi. I said before the game, I thought he was past his peak at Liverpool. I thought he was a player who should have left in the summer. I think he's a player that we've outgrown. And I thought he was superb tonight. Before the game, I called him lazy. But he pressed high, he won the ball high up the pitch at times. And his assist for the equaliser was outstanding. Truly special from Origi, that little scooped pass. It was a lovely finish from Mo as well. Obviously went off with a little knock, it looked like, in the early stages. He's not played much football recently, has he? So it's expected. But yeah, I thought he was good tonight. Credit where credit's due. It wasn't a perfect performance by Origi. It wasn't a superb performance. He didn't really shine. It's not a man of the match sort of performance, but it was a very good performance from Divock Origi. It was one to highlight that there is a player there. And I suppose it was a bit frustrating as well, because we want to see that every time he gets an opportunity. But, he's so inconsistent. We know that there's a player in the Origi, but we don't see it enough. And I'll praise him because we saw Origi tonight playing, at a very good level. And I don't think anyone expected that, really. But do I still agree with, my comments pre-game? Yes, absolutely. And I'm using this as an opportunity to say that Origi will now get more opportunities based on that performance. And he needs to take them like he did tonight and show us as supporters that he can perform like that on a consistent basis. And then, absolutely, I'm sound with him sticking around, and I'll stop saying that, yes, we need to improve on, players like Divock Origi. But yeah, that's my opinion. Ox and Keita look so slow. Yes, I wanted to point out Naby Keita and Jordan Henderson, particularly off the ball in the first half. I thought Henderson ran too much and Naby looked slow and like he couldn't run enough. That was it for me. So yeah, I think Keita is adjusting to the Wijnaldum role. That's what I've picked up from the last few games. What he tended to do in the first half was the basics, the simple stuff, spot on. It's a different Naby now. We're seeing a different Naby. We're seeing him evolve into the sort of player that Jurgen Klopp transitioned Gini Wijnaldum into. So yeah, that's it for me. I want to talk about Milan now. Milan looked really nervous for the opening half an hour. They scored 2 goals against the run of play. they were all over the shop, really, weren't they, defensively? But they caused us problems going forwards, as we saw. They only needed two real chances in the first half to score 2 goals. I want to talk about 2 players in particular from Milan who were the standouts for me tonight. Maignan, the goalkeeper, who made some very good saves in the first half, and Thiago Tomori, who was very unlucky to score an own goal in the first half. But what a player he is. What a centre-back. I can't believe Chelsea let him go. He threw himself about, put his body on the line so much in the first half. He was the reason that we were only 1-0 up for the first 40 minutes of the game. It could have been 4, 5, 6, 7 without him and Maignan between the sticks. I thought he was outstanding. He is a special centre-half, Fikayo Tomori. But yeah, they were the 2 standouts for me today. Special mention as well for Frank Kessie. I thought he showed his abilities at times, but I thought it was hard for him at others. But yeah, there was a moment as well. He's a strong lad, isn't he? A very strong lad. Who else do I want to highlight? Individuals. I'm talking about individuals now. Individuals for Liverpool. Robertson going forwards in the first half I thought was really, really good. Trent, hear me out. I think going forward tonight, he was very good. I think defensively tonight, he clearly watched my video the other day where I said, that him not being able to defend is the biggest myth in football, because it was a bit shaky from a defensive standpoint from Trent tonight. He's a player that I hate when people say can't defend and stuff like that, but there were a few shaky defensive moments from Trent tonight, a few misplaced passes. But besides that, I thought going forwards, from a creativity point of view, obviously he plays a huge part in the first goal. And going forwards, I thought he was very good as well. Curtis Jones, when he came on, looked decent. I thought there was one moment where we were breaking 3-on-2, though, where he should have done better. I hesitated a bit, but that'll come with age and experience. That'll improve in Curtis Jones's game. Who else was top quality tonight? Mo, I have to talk about Mo. Once again, another record broken. He's equalled Gerrard's record as Liverpool's top scorer in the Champions League of all time with 14 goals. He missed a penalty tonight, but he scored with a lovely finish. Origi, set him up with that lovely assist. But make no mistake, that was a fantastic finish from Mo Salah. Do not underestimate the finish from Mo. The ball's in the air. He's got Maignan coming out, running at him. But it's a world-class finish from a world-class player. And once again, another record broken. He's got 96 goals in 96 goals, I believe, in 100 games at Anfield. Wow. What a player. He is so special. We are so lucky to have him. And it's becoming ingrained in my system now that every time I do a stream after a game, I'm talking about how special Salah is and how lucky we are to have this man. There is no one else in the world, and rival fans will laugh at me when I say this, but I will have Mo Salah above anyone else in world football. Why? Because nobody could bring Liverpool Football Club exactly what Mohamed Salah brings us, and I am promising you that now. We have to tie this guy down to a new contract, and we need to do it sooner rather than later. Give him everything that he wants, because he deserves it 100%. Let's have a look at a few more comments now. Here we go. Trent was caught out of position for both Milan goals. Yes, he was. Trent wasn't great. He was good. I'd agree with that. I thought going forwards, he was very strong defensively, shaky, positionally, shaky. Van Dijk keeps our defence together. Gomez was scared to pass forwards, but it's expected. He's been out for a while. Yeah, I'd agree. There's mistakes in the first half that Van Dijk cuts out. For the 2 Milan goals, Van Dijk's there at the back. He's the leader at the back. He sorts it out. The goals probably don't happen, or they do, and they're rectified. The first one happens. Make sure the second one doesn't. It's as simple as that. But as it was, we dominated the first 40 minutes. They scored, and you can see what it was like. We put a lot of energy, a lot of effort. We were so exciting in that first half an hour, and it went a bit flat, didn't it? We allowed Milan to get back in the game. They scored the goal, heads drop, and then all of a sudden the goal comes again. Bang, 2-1. All of a sudden we find ourselves behind. And with Van Dijk starting, I don't think that happens. But as I say, we need to manage Virgil van Dijk this season because of his injury last season. We saw what's a possibility to happen during the international break, where he played 2 games in quick succession. He even missed one of the 3 Netherlands games, and still, picked up a knock. So we need to manage him carefully. We need to manage his fitness. We need to do the same with Gomez and Joel Matip. All 3 had long-term injuries last season, remember. And I expect Matip will now miss the Palace game. But remember as well, Matip had 2 weeks off during the international break. He doesn't play international football, does he? So he had 2 weeks off then, where Virgil van Dijk didn't. So will we see Van Dijk come in at centre-back again, and Tsimikas come in for Robbo, and Robbo given a break at the weekend? We'll have to wait and see. But I do think we'll see a few changes for that Palace game as well. Anything else from you in the comments? And anything else I've missed in the game, let me know what I've missed, what you want to know from me. I think I've covered everything. I've mentioned Salah's world-class finish. I've spoke about the goal from Jordan Henderson, which was top-quality stuff. I've spoken about the performance of Divock Origi. I've pinpointed Tomori and Maignan as the players that impressed me from Milan. Here we go. The comment from Mervyn. I was hoping for a comment like this. Thiago came in and showed why we should start him, says Mervyn Manika. Now, if you watch that first 40 minutes and can tell me that Thiago didn't start for a reason, then fair play to you. Because I think I can understand why Jurgen Klopp didn't start Thiago tonight. Jurgen Klopp knows that there's more substitutions allowed in the Champions League. He knows that for a fact. He wanted to start fast, aggressive, high press, loads and loads of energy tonight. That's what he wanted. He wanted pressing high, fast, proper gegenpressing, and that's what we got in the early stages. We really, really took the game to Milan. We were outstanding. It was so fast. We were just electric, weren't we? The atmosphere was incredible, and we went all guns blazing from the first whistle for the first half an hour. Now, we know Thiago is a player that likes to dictate the pace of the game. He likes to be the man that builds up speed, slows it down, builds up speed, slows it down. Fancy pass there. Jurgen Klopp wanted something different in this game. And when Thiago came on and was outstanding, because he brought us a different dynamic. He changed the game, and he made the game his own, like we know Thiago likes to do. He also showed me something different that we've not seen much of him. I liked him winning the ball high up the pitch again. I thought it was a foul on him from Frank Kessie with his shoulder in the back of Thiago. I think he's still got, the shoulder of Kessie sticking out his back. But yeah, I completely understand, the idea of resting Thiago and bringing him off the bench, because I think the way Klopp wanted to start the game was not as suited for Thiago as other players like Jordan Henderson, like Naby Keita, for example. So that's my opinion. Glenn Boylan says Klopp's fist pumps are back. They absolutely are. And the Anfield atmosphere is back under the lights. Champions League nights. Don't you love to see it? What a night. Let's have a look. Brendan O'Brien, super point about Thiago, made perfect sense to bring him off later. When Van Dijk is out, we miss him so badly. Best centre-back in the world, no doubt. Absolutely, mate. There's a tactical element about these extra subs. Why do you think that the clubs lower down in the Premier League didn't want it brought in? Because you can use it as an extra tactical element to the games, and Klopp used it today. You know what it's going to be like at Anfield. You know what the atmosphere is going to be like when Liverpool haven't played in the Champions League in front of a full Anfield for 526 days. You know that it's going to be electric, and you know how we're going to want to start that game. The players are going to be well up for it. They're going to be pumped. They're going to come out all guns blazing. It's going to be manic. It's going to be hectic. And Thiago is a man who likes to control the pace of the game. He likes to, play the game in his own peripheral, doesn't he? That's the sort of player he is. And the plan was from Jurgen Klopp, I can tell you it now, the plan was to go out, get some early goals, bring Thiago on, let him dictate the game, slow it down in the second half, rest a few players. But as it was, we went out all guns blazing, went into half-time, 2-1 down, managed to get ourselves back in it, brought Thiago on still, changed the game a tiny bit, but I thought, Thiago was outstanding when he came off the bench. He really was, and showed what a top player he is. But that's the reason he didn't start, in my opinion. Let's have a look. Anything else? Siad just says yes. I think that means he agrees with me. And who wouldn't, eh? people talking about how good Kessie was. Yes, I thought he was brilliant, but another player who didn't play in this match tonight but played elsewhere was Jude Bellingham, and he's world class, and he's the man I want. Pay Dortmund as much as they want for Jude Bellingham. He is that generational talent that FSG have been looking for. He will thrive at Liverpool. He will absolutely excel. He's a top quality player. He needs to be playing in England. He's a generational talent, and he's going to be world class for years to come, and I mean that. If you're watching this, John Henry, I know you sometimes pop up where your name does in the comments. If you're watching this, sign him up. Anything else? Jude Bellingham is just class as Jay Shah. There it is. You know, water is wet. Jude Bellingham, phenomenal. A goal and an assist for him tonight. Anything else? I'm not going to stay for too long tonight, by the way, because I know it is late. So these Champions League streams, you know, I don't like to keep you for too long. Anything else here? We should give a chance to someone from youth academy in striker position because Origi not working in long term. I think your comment shows you don't really watch too much youth football. I think through the middle, Leighton Stewart was going to be the man who got more opportunities. He's injured at the moment. Paul Glatzel out on loan after a difficult spell of injuries. There's no one really in that striker position, the sort of player that you want, you know, that's ready, that's for sure. You know, so yeah, I don't really agree with this comment, and I'm all for giving players in our academy opportunities, and I'm for telling you about great names in our academy. But right now, there's no one to step up in that position. I agree with this. Good break for Van Dijk. You know, we've gone on to win the game. People question the starting 11 choice, even despite our performance, if we go on to drop points in that game. But because we've won it, no one will talk about it now, and rightly so, because it was a phenomenal performance and we deserved to batter Milan tonight. We really did. Lots of people angry at Ox. He came on for the last 10 minutes, didn't really do much. I think it's an overreaction. This comment though from John W. Henry, clearly it's just you just trying to save yourself a few pennies, you tight bastard. Anything else? Anything else in the comments before I go? Mervyn Manika says, you are doing great, mate. Happy for you. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate comments like this. I really do. So thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Anything else? Tony Kelly. Fab's positioning was spot on tonight. He's like an old-fashioned sweeper. It's always spot on. The guy is unreal. Fabby long legs. Wow, what a player. I picked the right player to get on the back of my shirt this year, that's for sure. He's phenomenal. You know, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I think he's one of the most underrated players, you know, by our fan base, even though we know how good Fabinho is. I think when we talk about our top players, no one really puts Fabinho up there, but he's so important to us. So important. No one can bring us what he brings. Positionally superb, so good at stopping counters. He's so good at breaking up play. He's just a joy to watch. He really, really is. And I am on the train of, you know, the Fabinho hype train. I absolutely love him. Fabinho for Ballon d'Or. Happy days. Anything else? Who is Liverpool's best player this season so far for me? Matip, great channel. Thank you, Siad. I think Matip's up there. I think Fabinho's up there too. You got to praise Alisson Becker as well, in my opinion. Mo's got to be up there as well. Yeah, Trent's been good, but there's been some shaky off moments from him. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much, you lot, for joining me. I really appreciate it. The Reds have started the Champions League campaign off in fine form. 3 points, a 3-2 win against AC Milan. But boy, oh boy, did we make it hard for ourselves. A top performance, some smashing bits of play from Liverpool. But roll on Palace now on Saturday at 3 p.m. I shall see you very soon. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you later. Ta-ra.